Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media.
Welcome to the show. A little bit of a different intro this morning to 580 Live with Dave Allen. We do the show from the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. We will be taking your phone calls this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, of course, is open at 304-345-5858. And Tony Vitaler text 304-935-5008. As you may imagine, those of us in the Charleston area are pretty much in shock right now following the announcement late yesterday afternoon, early evening about the death of a former legislator, current head of HD Media, owner of Fazios, and a little bit of everything, Doug Skaff. And we're going to devote the entire show to Doug today. I've normally as a guy, and the producers will tell you this, meticulous about planning. Believe it or not, I actually put planning into the show. People wouldn't think I did. But I got no plan this morning. We're just going to bring people in studio or on the phone to talk about Doug Skaff. I have in studio with me Delegate Dana Farrell, who, of course, in addition to knowing Doug from the political world, also knew Doug through HD Media. Delegate, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Dave.
I have with me Steve Animal from 98.7 The Mountain, Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock, a very, very close friend of Doug Skaff.
Yes.
The mayor of Charleston, Amy Schuler-Goodwin, is going to be joining us a little bit later on. And I don't know who else is going to come in here. I'll be honest with you. We're just devoting this entire show to Doug. I do want to start, though. I have on the phone, I've got two people that knew him very well. And oddly enough, because it's Doug Skaff, one is a Republican and one's a Democrat.
Perfect.
Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to County Commission President here in Kanawha County, Ben Salango, and also Attorney General J.B. McCuskey. Commissioner, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I was devastated when I learned the news yesterday. I seriously could not believe it. I was in complete shock.
And Attorney General J.B. McCuskey.
It's hard to really process this, and it's just, when you think about Marissa and the boys, it's hard to really wrap your head around. I don't know what we need, but they're going to need a lot of help.
JB, talk about your relationship with Doug Skaff.
Doug is one of the most joyful people I think I've ever met, and it didn't really matter what happened during the day in politics with Doug. You always knew that when the community needed something, Doug was going to be the first person there. And you also always knew if you needed something, Doug would be the first person you could call if you wanted. And so he was sort of this larger-than-life figure in politics that was an actual friend to almost all of us. And that is a skill that has been lost, and it's something that honestly, we should all try to aspire to.
Commissioner?
He was the best.
Commissioner?
Yeah. You know, I was thinking back yesterday. I was actually in law school when Doug was an undergrad up at WVU. I have known him forever. And I remember a good friend of mine, Rob Berthold, called me. It was in probably 2007, 2008, and said, I want you to come over and meet this young man. It was his very first political fundraising event. And he said he has the intelligence and the charisma to be governor one day. And I remember I went over and I had known Doug already, but went over and chatted with him at that fundraiser. And, we were friends for a very long time. And Doug was always had a smile on his face. You know, even sometimes he and I would argue and fight, typically about WVU sports, but we would always, he was always just so happy. And, I feel terrible for his family, Marissa and the boys and Doug Sr. and his mom. I called them yesterday, and just heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking news.
And again, I'm sure everyone knows the news by now. He was killed in a automobile accident on I-79 yesterday, and it happened, I think, just after 4:30 or so yesterday afternoon, and it was just 2 weeks ago, guys, that I had Doug Skaff on the show. He was so excited about taking over Joe Fazio's, and I asked him to come on the show and talk about it. And the interview, it's a surreal moment in radio when I get out of the shower this morning and I'm listening to myself interviewing Doug Skaff from 2 weeks ago, and just the enthusiasm in his voice. But that was Doug, guys. Dana, let me, and I know you guys are out of town and you're traveling and everything, so I'll get to you in a minute. I said this thing has no rules. So, Attorney General McCuskey, I know you're very busy today, but I'm going to give you the final 30 seconds or so to just whatever you want to say about Doug Skaff.
I think that Doug will leave a legacy that I don't know that he knew he was leaving. And he was truly one of the great champions for where he was from. And he was an incredible father, and he was a great husband, and he was a great person. And it's hard to imagine what the Capitol and what Charleston is going to be like without him. And I think that's probably the hardest part for me and for so many people, is that he was who so many of us leaned on for so many things. And I just can't, it's just hard to really wrap my head around. But I think what Ben said is perfect. He was just a joyful, great person who's going to be missed by so many people.
All right. Attorney General J.B. McCuskey, I appreciate it. We'll let you continue on with your day, and Commissioner Salango will let you do the same thing that J.B. did.
Tara and I were scrolling through our photos last night of, just probably 10 or 15 years of pictures with Doug, and I came across the photo of us together, and we're all doing the horns down, at a WVU Texas game, and just so many great memories of being around Doug and watching his energy, and he was an incredible entrepreneur and just brought so much to the community. He took over, working with his best friend, Doug Reynolds, and working at HD Media. And, I had the privilege of working with them for a while, and he's just going to be missed. He leaves behind a wonderful, wonderful family, 3 great boys, and, hopefully they're going to be able to just pick up and carry on. But I don't know how you do it. I don't know how anybody does that after you lose a father, so young, and his parents lost a son, and I just can't imagine. So we're all praying for them.
All right. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Steve Animal, 98.7 A Mouth of Wild, a wonderful classic rock. Your thoughts of Doug Skaff?
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Like they were saying, the energy, I think we were all inspired by Doug. The state, like you said, not only thinking about the loss, but thinking about what he brought to the table every day. And it was positive energy, always happy. How can I help? What can I do? I think we can hopefully all learn a lesson from Doug that be like Doug, be upbeat, be happy, go get it. If I can lend a hand, let me know.
I got a message here from a gentleman by the name of Ernest Blevins, who he sent me a Facebook message, and he said, as you remember, I ran against Doug in 2022 for the House of Delegates. While at the time political opponents, we had a great campaign, which he won. He was always kind to me with good chats from time to time, even pointing me in 2023 as my kid served as a page for him, and he encouraged me to run again in 2024. And Dana, Delegate Dana Farrell, that's who Doug Skaff was. He really was. The run for Secretary of State that he did last year, and it was a crowded primary, something we don't hear about a lot. And it was, I don't want to say it was a bitter campaign, but it was a tough campaign. And he said to me, "Hey, look, I have no ill will toward any of these people. It's just politics." That's who Skaff was, Delegate.
Yeah, we don't save babies or lives. We just try to help people. That's really it.
No, and chime in here. I think first of all, when you look at that Secretary of State's race, I recall, we were in the office and Doug told me that, he was thinking about doing that. And at the time when he first got in, I think, are you sure you want to, it's a statewide race, you want to do this? And he said, yeah, I think I've got everything I need and the momentum. And I really do think that, he had a very good shot at it up until, and of course, when Warner came in, the name there, I knew it was going to be very tough for him. And I think he knew that too. But, he never stopped. He went out and, in fact, one of the missions that I have this week I had to go is he still has this big, Skaff for Secretary of State banner out on I-77 there near in my district that I said, we need to get that down. And, but I understand why he didn't go get it down after the whole incident with the snake bites last spring.
And the fact that he could stare that in the face and then laugh about it. I mean, Hoppy did an interview with him like maybe the next day or so. I did one a few days after that, and he was laughing about it. He was on a show 2 weeks ago talking about all the problems that he still has, and he knew he was going to have it for the rest of his life because of that snake bite. And he's laughing about it because that's Doug Skaff. Talk about your relationship on a professional level outside politics through media. Yeah, and it's going to be a tough few days at HD Media because sorry. That's all right. It's all good. It's all right. Doug was HD Media, and he brought us all together as a team over there. And you know how it is in media. You guys, you spend hours here together, and you work, you plan, and you go through a lot together, and you become family. And I think that's the way we're over there. And Tuesdays are our big planning days over there. Yesterday morning, Doug was in Morgantown, but he was on the phone conference call with us, and we were going over, typical business and looking ahead. And Doug was just like everybody said, positive, upbeat, looking at what we're going to do. Football, we're already planning for football season, live stream there. And then after I talked to him again individually at lunch yesterday, and we talked more about some of our plans that we're this coming week, what we're going to do with a couple of our accounts. And then I switched gears and I said, hey, what are you going to do? Because he'd already signed up to run for state senate here in the 17th district. And I said, have you got to start on that? He said, Dana, I've been so busy with the restaurant thing. And so, of course, that was Doug. He had his hands in everything. And he said, but, that's something, we'll get on. He goes, we'll get back in here. And it's just, what hit me is, that was 4 hours before the accident. And, he had no other thought than he was thinking ahead. I mean, always, as you said, Doug was a guy that had a vision for things, and he could make them happen. He surrounded himself with people that would help him make them happen. This is a huge loss for the state of West Virginia, and especially here in Kanawha Valley. Had a text here from Tony Hodge, who is the vice chair of the state Republican Party. It said, Doug was very kind and gracious towards me. We talked a lot about the newspaper he took over, and he hosted me on his program outside the echo chamber. Whether we agreed on politics or not, he always was respectful and carried himself with honor. He was very funny, too. And that's what I remember is that smile, man. And, in politics, let me say there, Doug was a very common sense candidate, legislator. When I knew him there, it wasn't about Republican or Democrat to him. I think he just tried to look at the issues and, like most of us up there, and try to say, okay, what's the right thing to do here by the people? And that's the Doug that I knew. All right. Delegate, I appreciate you coming in today. I know I don't know who all's going to be on the show. I really don't know. So you're welcome to hang out, but I may have to ask you to give up your microphone here for a minute. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more on the life and legacy and remembering Doug Skaff when we come back. Stay with us.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
My name's Chris Miller. I'm president of Dutch Miller Automotive. Jarrett Construction completely renovated and helped redesign Dutch Miller Kia in South Charleston. The fit and the finish and the quality of the project is exceptional. He has an attention to detail and an eye for that kind of stuff. You always want to give your best to your customer. It's just as important to him as it is to you. If you're ever looking to build anything, I'd call Jarrett Construction because you know exactly you're going to get something excellent every single time.
Call on Jarrett Construction. Injured? Call Morgan & Morgan. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
Serving Kanawha and Putnam counties for over 60 years, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is in your neighborhood every day. With the summer heat ahead, now is the time to schedule your home HVAC system cool check. If you need a new system and received a quote from another company, give Mullen a chance to take a free second look. Right now, Mullen is offering 0% financing on select new Rheem home cooling systems. Remember, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. To schedule your appointment, visit online at mullenplumbing.com or call 304-744-3221.
The latest in news, talk, and sports on 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Visit jarrett-construction.com for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
At 9:22, we are again remembering the life of former legislator Doug Skaff, and Delegate Hollis Lewis will be on with us here momentarily. Also, just got a message from Delegate J.B. Akers, and I'm trying to navigate everything here. So, Delegate Akers, if you we're going to have one ahead of you, I think, because I know Delegate Akers was on the road, so we're going to have one ahead of you, but let's just say 9:30. How's that?
Done.
If he's listening to us right now, let me bring in Hollis Lewis, Delegate Hollis Lewis. We'll let you get in and get settled there. Thank you for being on the show today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You come in with tears in your eyes, man.
Yeah, man. First of all, I just want to send prayers and condolences to his wife and children, his family. Doug was just an awesome dude, smiling, jovial, always like a good energy, and but not for Doug, I wouldn't. Be in a position that I'm in. He quietly supported me behind the scenes and supported what I was doing and, and provided me with a lot of good tips and tools to, be in this position. So, but most importantly, I just want to send out my condolences to his family.
And I think we have Delegate Sean Hornbuckle, who is on the phone with us. Delegate, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's like I've got, Delegate Farrell, I appreciate you coming in. Steve Animal, I appreciate you being here. I'm just trying to usher people in here right now. Your thoughts on Doug Skaff, sir? Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, that's, I'm still, in a bit of shock and stunned about my good friend leaving us way too soon from this earth. But he was an amazing individual, very gregarious, outgoing, just trying to make sure that, the Charleston area and West Virginia, for that matter, was able to prosper. So, I'm somewhat still at a loss of words. I've known Doug for a good bit, but this past decade, I would say we became really tight, family-like, and so it's just hard to wrap my head around right now.
Hollis, you want to follow up with that?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't get the chance to know as Doug as long as some of our other delegate teammates, but like I said, he was just a great guy. I remember when I was campaigning, I was so in campaign mode. I'm just knocking doors, as Mayor Goodwin suggested.
Mary Goodwin is in the chat.
Yeah, I'm knocking doors. And whose door did I knock on? I don't even know if I looked at the name. I'm just knocking doors. And I ended up knocking his door. And it's at the time when he was still recovering from the snake bite, so he invited me in. I got to, meet his kids and his wife. And he, we just talking, just kind of shooting. It has, if you know Doug, that's what you do when you talk to him and meet him. So, it was just stuff like that, and trick or treating. His kids would trick or treat with my kids in our neighborhood and everything like that. So, like I said, just kind of on the professional and the delegate side, and on the personal family side, we were really getting to know each other. And his newspaper has always supported my articles. I've wrote a bunch of op-eds, and so I just, Doug was always a guy. If you were on his team, you were on his team, And just as Delegate Hornbuckle mentioned, there's a guys that caliber to stay around Charleston and try to make our city and state better. You know, it's a big loss.
And Delegate Hornbuckle, before we let you go, I do want to say this is interesting because I've started putting this show together last night, and I don't really have a lot of planning into this. I'm just like, you want to come on, come in. And it just so happened that the first two people that I got on the show because of scheduling were a Republican and a Democrat. It was the Attorney General, J.B. McCuskey, and Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango, a Republican and a Democrat. Don't you think, Delegate Hornbuckle, that that's kind of a personification of Doug Skaff, that the first two guests on my show were one Republican and one Democrat?
I mean, he was both. So I guess that is very, very fitting. And he was a good public servant, but a good friend. I mean, heck, Skaff, he hosted my first ever fundraiser in Charleston at the Vandalia before it was the Hell House. I mean, we have so many memories. I mean, I don't want to get too emotional right now, but this is the first year in about 7 or 8 years that we haven't taken our annual trip, our annual guys trip in the summer, which was this past weekend. And it sort of bothers me a little bit, just thinking with the head trash that, had we just be coming back in town Sunday or Monday, maybe things would be a little bit different. And so I'm having a hard time with that as well. But, at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to do whatever that I can, for those three little boys and Marissa, whether it's if I'm in the Charleston area and she needs help, picking up one of those boys from practice, I will make myself available because I know people have already mentioned it, but Doug was there for me. He showed up for me in a very big way. He has helped with my maturation, not only as a public servant and helping me to ascend to things, but also in business. I hate that we're not going to be able to see through some of those projects that we talked about. It's just a lot right now. But I love him and love his family, and want to make sure that we carry his name on very strong in the state of West Virginia.
Delegate Sean Hornbuckle, I appreciate you being here. We'll let you go. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for being here, Delegate.
Thank you.
All right. Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin has stopped by. Mayor, how are you?
I'm listening and loving to hear all of these amazing stories about our friend Doug. I mean, I do know this at 54, you judge people not in always the good times, but the really hard times, right? Everybody can be there for you for a birthday or an anniversary or a party, or it's super fun. Everybody's there for you during those times. But the things that I know about Doug Skaff are the things that you saw either on social or you're hearing now, Dave, that during folks' worst times, when you really need a pickup, if people know about it or not. And the thing that is just so amazing and is just so inspiring and so great that his three little boys watch this of him. God, they're just darling. One is cuter than the next. They're just precious, rambunctious, energy, like their dad. During loss, during health issues, during political fights, and it didn't matter if he lost to someone or he was had a disagreement with someone. He always came back. He was the consummate professional, and that is what I will take away, because especially in this rough and tumble world of politics, right, Hollis? I mean,
100%.
It has become so nasty and so awful. There are folks who run against people who never speak to folks or have this vitriol to them. That was not Delegate Skaff. It's almost like he took it and then just came back. That is what as a parent, I think about that as Doug. I can talk about he was student body president. He started the Up All Night, which my kids have benefited from. He started the Mountaineer Maniacs, that energy, that enthusiasm, the good work that he's done, not only with the guys' night out. And I can list all of them. I mean, you don't have enough time in your show, Dave, or your afternoon show to do that. But the thing that I will remember and take away and try to, again, emulate and implement in my lives and influence my boys to do that. It doesn't matter if you're on the other side. You said it best, Dave, Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter if somebody is up against you or disagrees with you, that you come back. And you are humble and you are gracious and you give people the space and grace, even if you're in conflict with them on an idea or a campaign or love or loss. And that is something that is really important, I think, that we all take away. I can hardly open my Facebook up without crying.
It was like every other post.
Yeah. And what an influence, I mean, and I hope that people see that. And Delegate Erica Storch, who I know, everybody knows, Delegate Storch, she was a girlfriend of mine, one of my sister's closest friends up in Wheeling. And, she said, when I open up my page, I think, wow, he kind of weaved his way into so many of our lives and had such a great impact on not just political. I mean, forget that. It's the guy at the 7-Eleven who's like, oh, yeah, sure. Patty Hamilton talked about him this morning in a public post, Dave, so I'm not saying something that she wouldn't want me to say. She was out and I think doing maybe a honkin' wave maybe with him and felt ill. Was not okay and a little stumbly on her feet. He got her to the car. He stayed with her. He called 911. And not only did that, he took her to the hospital and he stayed with her until he knew that her family were there and he was taken care of. Buddy O'Day, that's the deal. Mm-hmm. That is the deal right there. It's super easy to put your face on, Facebook and post, and it doesn't matter. Jim can tell you this. Hollis can tell you this. Other folks can tell you this. It is what you do behind closed doors and behind the scenes what truly matters at the end of the day. There is absolutely no one in his family that is sitting there looking at his shiny awards. There is nobody that called him a friend that is sitting there regurgitating all of his accolades today. They are taking away the things that should be on a shelf that aren't. The things of his character and his nature that we all take. My mom always says, look at me and take all of the good. Take away all the good. And if I have any bad, let those fall to the floor. If we're going to take away anything from Doug Skaff, boy, there are handfuls of great things that he gave to us, imparted on all this. And we love him.
Had a text here from Tony the Tailor, and he wanted to come in, but he said, can't make it. Just wanted to say Doug was a close friend, confidant, and I will surely miss our friendship. Prayers of comfort for his family, such a huge loss.
He loved Tony so much.
For our state. Jim Strawn is with us, trying to let Jimbo collect a little bit here.
I'm excuse me, I'm trying to be really strong. Mayor said it really well. His legacy is really deep. It runs right through all of us, right through all of us. And I admired him and respected, and he inspired me. His commitment to this community, us as West Virginians, Kanawha Valleyans, and Charlestonians, unparalleled. His drive to help raise for those that needed it, indirectly and directly, just was second to none. Infectious, his ability to include everybody. It didn't matter your stance. He included you. He had a gift that was, quite frankly, I just marveled at it. I go, wow, look at you, bringing all of us together. And he was so endearing to do that. So much, this is going to ripple through our state and this valley for many months and years and decades to come. He had so much more to live for. I preach being strong. I'm here today being strong, Dave. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I didn't know what today was going to bring. I'm here to lift one of the best people that I've ever known up, and that's why I'm here. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm just going to honor him now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to work harder than ever.
And coming from somebody like Jim Strawn, who people look at as energy and positivity. So think about that. Think about if it's Jim Strawn who is looking to Doug Skaff to say, you've got positivity and energy, by golly, that might be the highest compliment.
Let's go now to State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin, who is out of town, unfortunately not able to join us in the studio. Michael, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. First, I appreciate you having the show and devoting the show to Doug and Doug's memory. My heart goes out to Marissa and his family and everybody, the mayor, Jim, everybody that's just shared from the heart today. Doug has an ability that I strive to have and often fall short of, and that's he had the ability to let things just roll off his back. And,
that's true.
I think last time he was on, I don't know if it was your show or the statewide show, Dave, but last time he was on, he was talking about, the campaign's over. People need to quit.
That was this show on the 22nd, Mike, on 22nd, yeah.
Well, that's how he was. I mean, he had it's so rare in politics these days that he could drop the politics when it came time to get to work. Because he was a true public servant. He loved his community. I mean, that's why he put together the group to purchase Phaseos. It's not because he needed another project, because he wanted to save a Charleston institution because he loved Charleston. And that's just the kind of things that he did. And I just, above all else, though, knowing him and being his friend, I saw how devoted he was to his family. And that's all I can think about today is Marissa and those boys.
All right. Hey, Mike.
How they get through this.
All right, Mike, we appreciate you being here and calling us up. Thanks a lot. It's 22 minutes away from 10. Text says, hearing people from all different economic, racial, and political backgrounds united in sharing their stories of the type of person that Doug Skaff was. First, want to pray for God to please be with his family and friends. Even more so, we should all remind ourselves and each other that Doug was an example of who we are as a nation, a state, a community, and as human beings, we should endlessly strive to be. I have no idea who that texter is, but
it's beautiful.
But
good words.
But amen. 21 minutes away from 10. We'll take a break. Be back with more after this.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
Retirement is more than a dream. It's a destination. Yet the journey can feel uncertain. At 4th Avenue Financial, they guide you with expertise and care. They help you navigate the questions. Am I on the right track? Or how do I ensure lasting income? Tailoring plans to your unique vision. They bring peace of mind to your retirement journey. Trust in their experience, proven through every market's ebb and flow. 4th Avenue Financial. Retirement done right. Get started at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
At Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports, adventure is always on the horizon. Don't miss the Summer Open House, Saturday, June 14th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Enjoy free food, door prizes, and exclusive discounts. Plus, experience vehicle demos and meet the experts from Trojan Landing. You'll get an exclusive sneak peek of the brand new Segway Supervillain, and you can register for a chance to win the Casa Brown 2025 Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Adventure awaits at Trojan Landing's Summer Open House, Saturday, June 14th. Serving Kanawha and Putnam counties for over 60 years, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is in your neighborhood every day. With the summer heat ahead, now is the time to schedule your home HVAC system cool check. If you need a new system and received a quote from another company, give Mullen a chance to take a free second look. Right now, Mullen is offering 0% financing on select new Rheem home cooling systems. Remember, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. To schedule your appointment, visit online at mullenplumbing.com or call 304-744-3221.
Welcome back to the show. 19 away from 10. We're just paying tribute to Doug Skaff today. I have a statement here from State Treasurer Larry Pack. Larry was scheduled to be on the show today to talk about something totally different, and then I reached out last night to Kerry Hudasek, formerly of our company here, who now is with Mr. Pack, and he was going to try to do it, and he just couldn't do it, and that's understandable. Everybody processes grief in different ways, and I understand, but the statement says from State Treasurer Larry Pack, I'm at a loss of words to accurately describe my shock and sadness over the passing of Doug Skaff at such a young age. When I think about Doug, I first go to his beloved children and his lovely wife. Doug wore many hats, but the most important to him was husband, father, son, brother, nephew, and cousin. He was so proud of his family and quick to tell you about them. Doug was also a leader in the community and state. I always thought he was just getting started. Doug had the ability to connect with people from all walks of life. That ability comes from his love of others. This life is indeed fragile, short, and often so unfair. I will continue to pray for his family and attempt to honor Doug by showing love and grace to others. That statement from State Treasurer Larry Pack. Let's go now to Delegate J.B. Akers. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Dave. I wish it was for different reasons, but I appreciate you having me on.
Your memories of Doug Skaff, sir. Go ahead.
Well, you invited me to make a call, which I appreciate. You've got, I think there are other folks like Mayor Goodwin's in the studio. She, I would say she had a closer personal relationship with Doug than me, so I'm not going to pretend like, I was Doug's best friend. But we were friendly. I've known Doug, for 20-plus years. My wife, Mary Claire, doing better than me. She used to talk to Doug quite a bit. They used to text with each other a lot. And he's just always a very gracious guy. I would guess that maybe one of the reasons you reached out to me is, I'm a Republican. Doug, for most of his political career was a Democrat, but he was gracious to everyone. I can say that genuinely. You just read a message from Larry Pack, the state treasurer, who's a very staunch conservative. But I saw Treasurer Pack in the gym this morning. He and I go around the same time, and he was visibly upset about this. When I spoke with him, he brought it up. He's known the Skaff family for a long, long time. And my wife, Mary Claire, was the first one to tell me yesterday. She was also, I could tell she approached me. You have these moments, Dave, when you know someone's going to tell you bad news and you can tell that something is really wrong. And my mind started to race. I could tell something had happened. And she told me that Doug had passed. It was not long after he had the wreck. And I physically turned my head to the side and said, oh, my God. You start thinking about his family. I put out a post yesterday just primarily about his wife and his kids, which is where our thoughts and prayers should be. But I want to say, too, as a dad, I didn't know Doug's mom or his siblings really other than just casual meetings. But I've had some conversations with his dad, super nice guy. And I just want to put some focus on Doug Sr. for just a moment. As a father, Doug Sr. adored his son. It was mutual. They loved each other deeply. You could see it when they were together. It was just a great relationship. I just want to, I'm not trying to, point him out to the exclusion of anyone else. Everyone in the family deserves the prayers and our thoughts. But that was a special relationship that Doug Sr. and Doug Jr. had. It just really was.
Delegate J.B. Akers, I appreciate you calling us up. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. It's 15 minutes away from 10. County Commissioner Natalie Tennant joins us now. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. This is a tough morning. We had a meeting earlier with the mayor, and Charleston Area Lines is just so quiet. And, that's what I thought was one of the first things when I found out that his dad was the first one notified was Doug Sr. And there is so much that both of them touched. I think about being at the WVU Alumni Center and the Skaff family area in that corner, and I just saw Doug Sr. at the ribbon cutting of Olive Tree. And what's interesting about that is that Doug Skaff and that part of the community, a lot of people only know him as a candidate, an office holder, or a politician, but that's the part of Doug that I loved, was his church community and his Lebanese community. And Delegate Akers just said it, when there's such a special relationship that Doug Sr. and Doug Jr. had. I was sitting there and talking with so many members of the church, and actually Michael Jeruz's mother-in-law, and then her sisters, 2 sisters, and I'm like, oh, is there only 3 girls? No, we had a son, we had a brother, and of course, the son in any Lebanese family is always held up so high, and that's when I knew about that relationship that father and son Doug Skaff had, and that the church and the Lebanese community, and that's maybe why Doug opened himself so much to make sure he was taking care of Kanawha County, West Virginia, Charleston, whether it was the newspaper. I know you all talked about this probably, and coming back with the restaurant and things that needed.
I think that Delegate Akers, the thing that I appreciate what he said probably as much as anybody sitting here now at this desk beside me, is that's where you do go. It goes back to your family. Mm-hmm. And of course, Delegate Akers would say, as a father, it made me immediately think, because to have to bury a child is just, it's torture. And I appreciate his comments, because that's where, and he knew, as the delegate said, on a professional level, but it was deeper than that. I mean, you can tell that it's deeper than that, because Doug just didn't just allow folks to have a professional relationship with them. You had a personal relationship with them. So if you worked with them a day, a week, an hour, or a decade, you had that impact and influence on them, because it was positive, and I appreciate that.
100%. And, a lot of times, Charleston, West Virginia, we get a bad rap, and there's a lot of negativity. And what I appreciated about Doug the most was he was trying to make this state, this area, the best it can be by, participating in our parades and restaurants, keeping our newspaper alive, doing things to make the lives of not only, us as his colleagues, but the youth and everything better. So, I just appreciate that bright smile, the good energy, and his work that he did in this community and state.
Let me read a text here. Natalie, just 1 second. Let me read this text here, and I'll go to you. It's so hard to believe that Doug is gone. My prayers are with his family. It's hard to imagine his life here without him. He was a good friend, and 1 year ago yesterday, he sent me a text, was checking on me. That's Doug. He said as soon as he was able to get back on his feet, we would have to go for some hot dogs for lunch. We never made it. Doug will be missed by so many who loved him. That's from Fred Albert, former American Federation of Teachers president. Commissioner Tennant.
We all go to the family. How are we going to take care of those boys? I mean, I know that they have a community, and when we say, we pray for your comfort and your strength, and the comfort may not come from us, but it comes from, I'm hopeful. And I know, as I just relayed from last Thursday, I know that there is a community there. The older one will know him well. I mean, I'm sorry, I get too much in the weeds about how these wonderful boys that he was so proud of will see their father. I don't want them to have to live in this, this image of their father to be him, but to be them, because that's what he would want them to be, their own strength. And, maybe we can just think of that. And I just, thank you for this opportunity just to sit and talk. And everyone else is experiencing this. And as I was driving in, I heard Jim Strawn, and I called Jim yesterday. It's like, I'd never really been on this side before in such a way. I mean, Mayor, I know that you have, because you get that first call when you hear things. And now, being a new county commissioner, I got the first call from my president, Ben Salango. And then, we're all doing our official things to help make sure that our community is strong. You, the city, me, the county, and the state. How do we take care of each other? And
your texter said something that I think a lot of us are feeling, because I'm getting lots of texts as I'm sitting here. You know what most of us instantly did, in official duties aside, and I know I did it. I went to my text. I went to my last time I talked to him.
I haven't been able to do that yet.
Yes.
I'll get there eventually.
Right. And I can hardly get through it because it was quintessential Doug Skaff, jovial. We joked about the pimento cheese and fruit because, that's what I appreciate out of Facios, and the levity that he brought. And even in hard conversations or supportive conversations, he was just getting ready to host something for me next Tuesday. That's what we all want. We want to have that instant connection. Commissioner Tennant and I talked about this during the boys basketball game. If you recall, Natalie, we were sitting in the stands and we were talking about friends and people who have influenced our lives, who we have lost over the past, 2 years. Judge Tabbitt and John Kennedy Bailey. And Sean, it has been a incredible blow to the young professionals of our community and folks who impacted so many people. And what you have to take away, Dave, from all of this are exactly what I said earlier. You take the good and the pieces of the people that you, who are your mentors, or who you look at and say, I like that about Hollis. I like that about Doug. And I want to take that piece of them with me and continue forward through our service, through our communities.
It's 9:53. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Looking to buy or sell U.S. coins or currency, or need an appraisal on a coin collection? The Coin Man in St. Albans has been established since 2009, and he's the area's expert in currency. Whether you're buying or selling coins and coin accessories, he's got you covered. But that's not all. He also deals in select antiques and glassware. Visit the Coin Man today at 2412 Kanawha Terrace in St. Albans and discover treasures that transcend time. The Coin Man, where every coin tells a story.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield, subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
This summer, get a head start on your future at Bridge Valley Community College. Dive into hands-on experiences and earn college credits, all while still in high school. Join us on June 10th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at our South Charleston campus. Explore labs, meet instructors, and fast-track your career in nursing or advanced manufacturing. Bridge Valley, where your future takes shape. Visit bridgevalley.edu to win. Shape your future.
Welcome back to the show. 6 minutes in front of 10 o'clock. Special show today, just paying tribute to the life of Doug Skaff. And I appreciate everybody. If I start mentioning names, I'm going to leave somebody out. I will say that I reached out last night to pretty much everybody I know in the political world and everybody that I knew we could talk with about Doug Skaff with, and my phone for an old man that goes to bed about 9:30 every night. I'm not Steve Animal. I don't live the rock and roll lifestyle at my age anymore. Steve still does.
I do.
But I was up till late last night. Late by my standards is like 11 or 11:30, and I was reaching out and taking text and so on and so forth. And a lot of people said, I'd like to come on. I just can't, right now. And okay, I think we do have a phone call. So let's go to the phones. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, hi. My name is Kelly Weimer. I'm a
president and co-founder of West Virginia Kids Cancer Crusaders.
Yes.
And Doug Skaff, along with his wife Marissa, were also co-founders with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to share with you, some of the things that Doug would do with West Virginia Kids Cancer Crusaders. Doug was the kind of guy, he was very simple. He loved the children, the cancer kids. He would, set up inflatables, of course, at the Christmas parties. He knew all the cancer kids by their first names. They loved him, and he loved them. Doug was just the kind of guy, he was just full of life. And his involvement with our West Virginia Kids Cancer Crusaders is going to be really missed.
All right. Kelly, I appreciate your phone call. Thanks a lot. Thanks for sharing that with us. It was interesting because, as I said, I don't know what I said out loud and what's in my head. But as I listen to the morning news every morning when I'm getting ready for work. And this morning, just about the time I got out of the shower, Chris and Jeff were playing the audio of the interview that I did back on May 22nd with Doug Skaff about the takeover of Phazios. And I talked about that. Of course, for the snake bite incident, so I talked to him about that as well. But then I guess the clip that really got to me was, I think I just asked him about the state of politics or something right now. And and you'll probably hear this clip several times throughout the day here. In that Doug Skaff style, he said something to the effect of, look, the campaign is over. Doug ran unsuccessfully for Secretary of State. He was going to run for more offices. We all know that. But he said the campaign is over. It's time to stop with the back and forth, and it's time to get to work for the people of West Virginia. And that was like the most Doug Skaff thing ever to me. And that's the Skaff that I want to remember. He just wanted to do good, Steve.
Yeah, he was a great bridge builder. Okay, if your side, this side, doesn't matter what side you're on. Let's get together, figure it out, make it work, and be like Doug, man. Bring some happiness to the table, have a smile on your face, and just go do it. But try to help some people. And he was awesome. He will definitely be missed.
TJ Meadows is here with Talkline, and TJ, as opposed to doing our normal preview that we would do, I know you dropped a commentary today. We'll save that, for the show.
Absolutely.
Your thoughts on Doug Skaff?
I met Doug 26 years ago as a freshman at WVU when he was a senior at WVU and he was student body president. A couple things that you knew right off the bat about Doug. Everybody knew Doug. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved Doug. People wanted to be around him. And even at that age, Steve, he had those abilities that you were talking about in terms of bringing people together, founded the Mountaineer Maniacs, brought people together, gone way too soon, and his best years were ahead. It's a tragedy. And I just feel for his wife, his boys, a lot of people dealing with a lot of pain this morning.
Yeah, but I think the takeaway is that Doug Skaff was a man of the people, and people loved Doug Skaff. Sometimes they didn't always agree with him, but at the end of the day, he had that smile and that wavy hair, and he would just kind of look at you. He just kind of look at you and go, "See you, man." And that was
maybe
Doug.
One of the best heads of hair I've ever seen in my life, actually.
All right, we'll leave it there. We'll be back. I'll be back with Metro News Midday at noon. Till then, have fun and love somebody. R.I.P. Doug.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.